All right,
Awesome.
what is up, Amelia? So got you on here finally on Motivational Monday. I'm going to literally just jump straight into this. So this was when I first heard this from you of what your why was, I was shocked. It was crazy. It's gut-wrenching. A lot of people are going to probably be like, holy cow, I can't believe that happened. So what was your why? Why did you get started in all of this and wanting to lose weight and get healthy?
Great question, Tyler. I will gladly tell you. So, Halloween of last year, we had just got back from our church Halloween trick-or-treating, and I was getting undressed out of my Halloween costume, and my daughters were in the room getting dressed and everything too. And here I am at 340 pounds, just not caring about life and just anything really. You know, I was in a bad marriage. I didn't care about me. All of a sudden, my now 8-year-old daughter, Amara, who happens to be a type 1 diabetic, comes up to me in tears, like not just like ha-ha tears, but just like gut-wrenching, I'm crying in tears, looks at me and says, "Mommy, are you going to die because you're fat?" And that killed me. And from that day, I changed.
So like, what I'm just trying to think of, like at 8 years old, how would a child know that? Like what did you say back to her?
I couldn't say nothing. That was the crazy thing. And I just stared at her, just wondering, because at the time she was 7. And I just looked. No, I apologize. She just turned 8. Lord Jesus, help me. I just looked and I'm just like, I've never mentioned nothing to her. You know, my soon-to-be ex-husband never mentioned nothing. Just, why would you, out of the blue, be that concerned about my health? And here you are with your own health issues, and now you're just like, "Mommy, are you going to die because you're fat?" And just genuinely cried. And finally, after I was over the initial shock of it all, I finally said, "No, baby, I'm not going to die because I'm fat." And then that day, I hunked down. I downloaded the carb manager app so I could track my macros, because I wanted to make sure that I was eating right and making sure I was staying within my limits. And at the time, I was still doing, net carbs because I wanted to get my body back into it. But I would never.
Did you try losing weight before?
I did. I actually did a low carb 4 or 5 years ago. And in a 3-month period, I lost 30 pounds. And I'm like, okay, cool beans. And then Thanksgiving rolled around.
Good old Thanksgiving.
I know.
One day out of the month.
I know. And then my aunt, who passed 2 years ago, said, "Come on, it's just one day. It's just one day. You'll jump back on it. Don't these brownies look delicious?" And I'm a sucker for chocolate. I'm just like, and I fell off the train and got to my heaviest at 340 pounds. Some people will see on my TikToks, the picture of me in that black shirt with the white stripes. That was my heaviest. I was so proud of that shirt because it was something at Walmart that actually fit, but it was the biggest size. It was a 4X. And I thought I was so cute and hot to trot. And then when I looked at the picture recently, I'm like, I don't even have wrist. Like, people have cankles that don't have ankles. I didn't have wrist. Like, it was just like a tree trunk. I'm just like, I was disgusted with myself. I'm just like, how did I get to that point to where I just did not care? And now I do.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine like being a parent having. So that's why when you told me what your why was, I was absolutely flabbergasted. Like I couldn't even imagine like being a parent having that. But what I think is the coolest part about all of it is you changed. You went from that statement. You were like, no, I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to change it. And it was for your kids too, for your kid to say that. Someone else on the street could have said something and everyone gets bullied and stuff. And it could have been like, yeah, whatever. It's whatever.
Yeah.
But like your kid said it. And like, you can't be mad at your kid either. So
No.
Crazy is you can't be mad at your kid. Your kid probably saved your life, which is like, it's just crazy how that happened. Like, that why, when I always talk about the why, like the why is the most important when it comes to anything in life. And with that why, just the statement alone was so gut wrenching. that why, she's with you all the time. You have to look at your why now. And when you go out, you think about that state. You don't even have to think about your why. You can just think about her saying that, like, I'm not eating that. It's not even worth it. So you did
Exactly.
low carb before. So when she said that, once she said that, she said that and you started when?
That day.
That day. What I'm curious, what time of the day was it when she said that?
Well, it was at nighttime, and
So
I
was
was
that
actually
night?
it was at night. I was actually fixing to eat something. My big thing is bread. I love bread. I'm all about sandwiches because, women, get in the kitchen, make me a sandwich. I'll make my own sandwich. Thank you very much. So I stopped right then and I said, you know what? I'm all of a sudden not even hungry anymore. I think I'm okay. And then that next day at work, I told everyone, because I'm a preschool teacher and a lot of the parents are like, here, we bought you this really awesome gift. And here's this box of chocolates.
Ugh, it's the worst.
But my parents are so very thoughtful of me now because they know that I've been on keto. It'll be a year on Halloween. I'm like, and I said, I don't eat sweets. I don't eat this or this or this. I've even stopped eating the carb master tortillas because even the small ones, one tortilla is 12 carbs. And because now I'm doing all carbs.
Doing all carbs. So when you first, what made you want to do keto?
The first time or just recently?
Just recently, because first time you said you were doing low carb, right? Now you're actually doing keto.
Because I've been looking on sites and stuff, just wondering, what weight loss I could do. And I kept coming across keto. I'm like, oh, what's this about? So I would research it. And, I was like, oh, it's like low carb, but like hardcore. I'm like, maybe one day I could do that. Maybe one day I could do that because I've done it before. I could do it again. And then Amara popped with that don't die statement. And I said, I'm doing it. And so literally November 1st was my first official full day of keto. And literally I just did veggies, meat, and dairy. And then I found out dairy really doesn't settle with my stomach that well. So I've had to cut back on a lot of my cheeses. Only dairy I really implement in my diet is the heavy whip in my shakes because I want to give myself 200 more calories so I could be fuller longer.
So you do an ounce in True Meal?
Two.
You do 1 ounce in True Meal?
I do a quarter cup, which is 200.
I don't know, the measurement's terrible. But go on.
A tablespoon is roughly 1/16 of a cup, so 2 tablespoons is 1/8 of a cup. 4
Do you bake?
tablespoons is a quarter
You've
cup.
got to bake.
I do.
Okay, makes sense. Like, I don't know how you just did that, but I would have never been able to do that.
Well, another little thing of me, I'm autistic. So my number one thing I love is numbers. I've always loved numbers. Always will love numbers. And my daughter, Amara is autistic too. So like, we're both like number savvy. We're just like down to the decimal, to the 846 decimal place. We're just like, that's us. And most people look at me and they're like, you're autistic? There's no way. I'm like, yeah, we come in every shape, form, and fashion. Pink hair and
awesome.
all.
So you started, daughter said that, are you going to die? I cannot. That's craziness.
Yeah.
That hits me. I think about that all the time. I really do. But you did it. You started. So what things did you have to start overcoming when you first started? When you first started, you started what? Tracking macros, or were you just tracking carbs? Or
I tracked macros and everything because I also knew that your calorie intake was very important too. Because if you weren't taking in enough, you were going to go hungry, and your body's just going to hold on to it. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yes, and so my calorie count right now is 1,700, which I know.
When you started?
19.
Okay.
1,900, but I was very, 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 very inactive. Other than being a childcare teacher, but even then I was just sitting in my chair most of the time. Now I'm running around like crazy doing. I even implement your exercise videos with my kids, and they think it's the coolest. Like, we'll count to 100 doing your videos and stuff. And like, my kids are so smart. They're 2 and 3 years old. They're terrors, but they can count to 100 and do a squat thrust.
That's awesome.
And yeah, so now I bumped my calories down just a little bit because I've noticed some stalls. Like, I would note not major stalls, but like I wasn't gaining anything, but I was losing just the bare minimum. Mm-hmm. And I knew that I couldn't bump my calories down anymore because I don't want my body to go into starvation mode. I want to make sure I have plenty of protein in me.
Got to keep all that pink hair, right?
This hair just doesn't come by just looking good, Tyler. I actually got this hair because I've always wanted this haircut because it's shaved on both sides. I've never had this hairstyle before, and I've always wanted it. And then when I was going through the beginnings of my divorce, I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I don't have him controlling me anymore. So,
Nice. That's awesome.
I love
You
it.
doing
Oh,
you.
I love it. Oh, heck yeah.
So what did you have to overcome? What were a lot of the objections? Like, what were a lot of things that you had to overcome in the past year? How much weight have you lost already?
110 now.
110 pounds in a year. So
Less than 11 months. Yeah.
11 months. That's awesome. So yeah, what things did you have to overcome? Like, what were a lot of the big challenges?
Not letting food be the thing that controlled me, because I've always had food control me. Food always controlled me, even if I wasn't hungry, even if it was keto. And I'm like, oh, I'll just have a few more slices of pepperoni. What's the big deal in that? And then finally, I just said, no, food is not in control of me. I am in control of it because I'm the one that holds the power to say yes or no. So learning that self-control on when is enough to eat and when is not enough to eat or what's too much to eat, and just learning to stop when my brain is saying, okay, I am satisfied instead of I'm full. Because if you eat till your brain says I'm full, 20 minutes after everything's done and all that, your body feels miserable because you've overeaten. But when your brain tells you I'm satisfied, 20 minutes later, then your body's like, oh, I'm full. I got the nutrients I need. And your body feels great because you haven't overindulged, even in the healthy stuff.
That's the thing. A lot of people think that as long as it's healthy, you can eat as much as you want. Like, no, you can't. So whenever people are like, oh, you can have as much fat as you want, it's not going to turn to fat. No, the body still will store it if you have excess amount of calories.
Yep, I love vegetables. So I've definitely had to up my vegetables even more, which I don't mind. I Brussels sprouts, broccoli, cauliflower, anything green, I love. Cauliflower too.
Nice. So what are your meals like? So you said meat and veggies. Like, what's your favorite go-to meal? Don't say true meal.
True meal. Oh my God. I can bake it in macaroons. Which I can.
That's hilarious.
But, vegetable-wise, okay. So I got a new thing. We love bell peppers. My 4 and 8-year-old do too. We'll make idiot sandwiches. So I'll put some cream cheese in a big cut bell pepper, and then I'll either lay some pepperoni in it or some high fatty or ground hamburger meat. I'll do tacos like that too. They're phenomenal. And then I'll do my own season. I can make my own seasoning too, because regular taco seasoning, like the packets, are just like an amazingly abundant amount of carbs and sugar. So I'm like, oh no, Amelia can make her own. My ex-mother-in-law is Puerto Rican, so she taught me how to cook with Sazon and garlic powders, onion powders, all that great stuff. And then I'll sprinkle a little cheese on top of that. Lots of lettuce. My oldest loves lettuce for some reason. I think she was a rabbit in her past life. But that is a major go-to, is bell pepper sandwiches. And also another great one is pork chops or beef strips, just sauteed in like some sauce and stuff. And I use the G. Hughes sugar-free sauces, which I highly recommend because they are very low in sugars. They don't have any of the maltitol, the maltodextrin, that bull crap in it. It is sweetened with sucrose, which it's not the greatest. It's not the worst. It all just depends on how your body processes it. Yeah, it all depends on how your body processes it.
It's definitely the aspartame you want to stay away from.
Oh, yes, because Amara's blood sugar will spike through the roof with a Diet Pepsi. But yeah, those are my great go-tos. And cooked veggies, like my daughters and I can live off of that. Like, heck, there's been meals where we just got a veggie tray from the grocery store and we're just like, have at it.
So you have the kids on it now too, right?
Oh yeah, I've had Amara actually on a lower carb lifestyle since her diagnosis back in 2018, because I don't want her body to taken so much insulin that her body's used to it. And then like, because my daughter's on a very minimal insulin drip. Like she may take in on just her basal drip alone, just her continual, maybe 8 units a day, which is like.
So was it a lot higher when you guys weren't eating this way?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Oh,
the thing. People don't realize that, like, if you don't take in all these carbs and sugars, you're not gonna have to take in all this insulin, constantly pumping this insulin to keep those blood sugars down. So that's awesome that you have the kiddos on it too, because it always kills me when the parents are just like, I'm gonna eat this way, but I'm gonna feed my kids all this crap that made me gain weight in the first place. I'm like, what are you doing? You have full control of your kids.
Now, every now and then, like maybe once a month, I will order pizza. However, I get thin crust. I get thin crust because it is the lowest carb. And it doesn't spike Amar's blood sugar, because a lot of times I had to extend her bolus on certain foods because it'll spike her sugar regardless, but thin crust pizza doesn't. And so like I might have one slice, which I think for a medium thin slice, thin crust pizza is only 20, 25 carbs.
Yeah, it's not
much.
But
I also know in my head too, as long as I stay under 50 carbs a day, I will still be in ketosis, which isn't really important anyways.
Yeah.
But, I know on days where like, the kids want to have ice cream and I buy like some keto friendly ice cream without all that crap in it, which I end up just making my own anyways. I make homemade ice cream.
Do you? With what?
Your True Meal.
Do you really?
Mm-hmm.
That's hilarious. So many people are making, what else, like you said you bake. What else do you make True Meal with? Have you made like the waffles or anything like that with it, or the pancakes?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yes, I have a little waffle maker that I would make my truffles with if I do want a sandwich, and it's just like the egg, the tablespoon of almond flour, which I love almond flour. I make really good bread with it. I can almost make it taste like cornbread.
That's crazy.
Oh, it's delicious.
Cornbread is amazing.
This Southern mama's going to have to send you some.
Ideal. Oh, that's awesome. What made you want to get True Meal? I always love hearing why.
Okay, well, I was going through TikTok, and I'm like, I love TikTok. I'm a TikTok fanatic, as you can see in my posts.
How long have you been on TikTok?
I'm trying to think of what the first time I made a video. August of 2019.
Real? So you had it. That's crazy. I've only had TikTok since December of 19.
Yeah, I just got it out of a fluke because it's like, you know what? I loved Vine. I loved Vine. And because I'm just that old school. That shows my age. I'll be 34 next year. So, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to get TikTok. Why not? Have fun with it. And then I think it was after the pandemic. And I was like, man, I could really use a great protein shake as a meal replacement, and 5-Star Nutrition had some okay ones, but I'm like, man, these don't really have a whole lot of calories. And so I would have to bump out the calories with the heavy whip, which gave me 400 calories in the shake. I'm like, okay, that's decent. But then I was scrolling through TikTok and I started following a lot of keto stuff because, if you
their algorithm's amazing. Yep.
Yes. And then your TikTok showed up. And I can't remember what one it was exactly, unless if I'm looking at it. But I just remember you talking about it. And I'm like, okay, I'll look at the website. And for a while, I couldn't afford it because, single mom.
Single mom, I get it. And you're a teacher. So my mom was a teacher, so I understand that.
Oh, cool. Yay, teacher power. But I was like, you know what? I'm just going to save the money and I'm going to get it. And you were running a special. And I said, why not? I'm going to do it. I don't care. And I bought it and I haven't turned back because that is the best protein shake I've ever had in my entire life. And I brag on to everyone about it. Like, they're like, I can't just stay full all the time. My protein shake's not working. I'm like, look, if you have the money, which he puts fantastic ingredients in it. That's why it is pricey, because he wants the best for us. Because Papa Tyler knows best when it comes to staying full. So I said, check out this protein shake. It is amazing. And I brought some up there and I let some of my friends try it. I made like a cup of it and I shared out some samples and they're like, this is so decadent. And I'm like, yeah, It tastes just like, literally, like you said, a Wendy's Frosty. And I miss Frosty so much. But I don't anymore, because now that I add the heavy whip into your shake and I shake it vigorously enough, it gets really thick. And I'm like, this is the life. This is the good life right here.
Do you not drink it with coffee?
Oh, I love drinking it with coffee.
Okay,
What I'll do, well, I normally, how I make mine is I'll do 12 ounces of almond milk, 4 ounces of heavy whip, 2 scoops, and then I can only find them at Brookshire's. I don't know, they don't have Brookshire's where you're at. It's a local.
Not in Arizona.
No, it's a local chain store here, but they have these coffee pods. Forgot the name of them. They're in my fridge right now. And I actually want a cup right now. They're liquid pods that you can either put in your Keurig to make hot, or you can open up the tab and make it cold, and it makes 8 ounces of coffee. I just pour a shot in there.
Nice. That's awesome. I was curious how you were making it. So when do you normally drink it?
In the morning.
In the morning? It's your first meal of the day?
It is my first meal of the day. And it keeps me full till 1 o'clock in the afternoon when I normally go on lunch. And then normally on lunch, even by lunch, I'm really not that hungry. Like, my body's just like, you're not hungry. You got what you need. And normally I'll just go to the grocery store and just get like 6 or 7 slices of pepperoni from the deli. And like, I normally bring like a bag of those snack cheese bites and some pork rinds. But you got to be really careful with pork rinds, because you'd be surprised at how many brands of pork rinds have maltodextrin in them. It is insane.
It's a sugar.
And there's only one brand that doesn't. No, I apologize.
Even when they're unflavored?
Even the unflavored regular ones. Some of
Really?
them have maltodextrin in them. Golden Flakes is one of them.
Huh.
I think that's a local Louisiana thing too. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Shocking. And I'm sad because I love spicy food. Like, if it doesn't kick me in the mouth, it's not spicy enough.
Ugh,
and
I like
love
spicy food.
Oh, I love spicy chicharrones, and they're so good. I'm the type that'll eat the spicy chicharron and put hot sauce on top of it.
That's craziness.
I am crazy, but that's okay.
So what have you learned throughout the year? What have you changed that got you better results? Is there anything, like, what are a lot of the tips and tricks that you learned that made it help you get better results?
All carbs, not net.
So you're doing net carbs and then switch to all carbs?
I switched to all carbs about 2 months ago when I was listening to one of your lives.
Oh, nice. So what did you see the biggest change in once you switched from net to all?
I wasn't bloated. I felt more energized. I felt happier because I knew, and I'm not eating processed foods, because that's where a lot of the carbs come from, is getting keto friendly things that are processed. And I'm like, I don't need that garbage in my life. So I literally just stick to meats, veggies, extremely little dairy. And heck, even when I cut back on my dairy like I did, I've noticed great results because I'm not bloated anymore. I don't have stomach pains. And I love eggs. And I've definitely upped my egg intake because it has a lot of great protein in it. My kids in my class don't like me that first hour in the morning, but nothing like a 2-year-old coming up to you going, Amelia, gross.
That's funny. So switching from net to all carbs definitely helped you out a ton. How much weight did you lose when you're like, holy cow, this is really working? And then you realize that you're never going to go back.
I woke up one morning about 2 or 3 months ago, right before I switched to actually all carbs, and I was in a long blue nightgown, and I walked by my mirror like I always do every morning, and I had to do a double take, and I'm like, is that me? And I took a picture, and I was just like, I sent it to my mom, who lives 8 houses down from me. I'm like, Mom, look at me. And she goes, holy cow. And I said, Mom, this is the first time that I've noticed that I've lost weight.
So like even 6 months in, you finally hit you?
It did. And it's so awesome because like I can even, like looking at myself talking to you, like I could see that like my face is just like skinnier and that I have only one chin, which is so nice.
Yeah.
And no, and just like even my glasses, like when I got these glasses back in February, they just fit my face.
Because you're before and after you're wearing those glasses, right?
I think so, yes. And look how huge they are on me now.
Yeah, your before and afters are awesome. Like 100 pounds down, you're going to see some awesome before and afters.
Oh, no, the greatest thing ever was 2 days ago. My boss gave me a bunch of clothes that she no longer wanted. And I'm like, sweet, because I have nothing that fits me now because everything looks like a moo-moo on me now. And like she's got like LuLaRoe dresses that she could have sold for 50, 60 bucks a piece. And I'm just like, oh, yes. And she had one pair of pants in there, white jeans. Now, I have not checked my pant size since I first started my diet. And when I first started my diet, I'm sorry, not diet, lifestyle change, because it is not a diet because it sticks with you forever. I was in a size 30 women's, which is ginormous. And these jeans that she had in a pile, I'm like, these look awful small, but why not? They fit. They're size 60.
That's crazy.
I have not been in a 16 since I was a senior in high school.
No way. So you're literally down to your high school pant sizes right now. That's awesome. So you started at 340, right? When you first started?
340.
340.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're at what? 240, 230 now?
230.
That's awesome.
I am 31 pounds away from my first official weight loss goal.
So you wanted to get down to 200?
I want to get to 199. No, Amelia wants to get into I want to get into Wonderland. I want to get into Wonderland so bad. I can taste it now because now all it is now is just fine tweaking even more what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
Because once I get properly diagnosed from the doctors about my blood sugars and all that, because my body just likes to make a ton of it, I'm going to try intermittent fasting again. Maybe a smaller window, not the normal 16-8. I might do a 14-10 or what would eat everything in 10 hours and then wait 14
because that's the
hours.
thing.
I might
Everybody
do a
thinks
smaller window.
Yeah, everybody thinks they have to do intermittent fasting, which you don't. It's more important to nourish your body, get those calories in and everything like that. So remember you were telling me, I'm like, don't even worry about intermittent fasting. Just get those calories in, eat throughout the day, do whatever you need to do. So I love it. So what did your friends, family say when you first started, when you would go out to eat or you hung out with them, went to parties, you're like, sorry, I'm not going to eat that. I'm doing keto.
Oh, my stars and garters. My uncle is so against it. Even now, he's like, you're not getting in enough carbohydrates. You're not doing this. Your body's not going to feel full and satisfied. You're just going to deplete yourself. And I'm like, I haven't depleted myself in these almost 11 months now, Uncle Frankie.
That's always my favorite. They're like, you're going to be malnourished. Eating meat and veggies. What am I missing?
Right. Like, this is what cavemen eat. And they were absolutely gorgeous. Just saying.
Anyone else? And then anybody else like change their mind now that you're down 100 pounds?
My mom is low carbing now. And she's down 20 pounds and she feels amazing. And I'm like, see what simple changes like in your coffee. Instead of using these fancy flavored creamers, use a splash of heavy whip or heck, just drink it black. That's how I normally drink my coffee anyways. You know, if you're going to be dumb, you got to be tough. Drink your coffee black, you know, so.
That's awesome. Not to call your mom, but how old's your mom? And is she in her 60s or anything like that?
50. She'll be 56 this year.
So she's in her 50s. She's down 20 pounds just by switching up her diet. It's crazy. Mm-hmm. It's all nutrition. Everybody thinks it's all workouts. Are you working out?
I am doing your workouts.
Nice.
I am doing your workouts. And plus, like I said, I implement a lot of your workouts in my childcare classes.
All right, kids, we're doing push-ups today. Get on force.
Oh, yeah. We like to do the bend, like the walking one where you're squatting down and like
the walking lunges.
Yes. So I'm like, all right, guys, we're not supposed to cast our pearls amongst the swine, but if you want a pretty tushy, you got to squeeze your cheeks. And they're like, all right.
awesome. I love it.
I love working with kids, and they're so impressionable. And if I could give them anything, I want them to know that exercise can be fun. It's not just like this, mundane thing where it's just like, oh God, I gotta get my squats in.
Yeah,
As
I
I'm
hate
doing
working out.
arm pumps.
I get it.
Yeah, I've yet to join a gym because 1, the pandemic, 2, I don't have anyone to watch my girls, and I don't really want to leave somebody with my kids because they'll terrorize them. Not the adults, the kids will terrorize them.
Got it.
But,
All right, is anything open up back down there yet, or how's that going? Totally off subject, but.
Oh, no, you're good. We're in phase 3 right now.
I don't even know what that means. I'm just happy the gyms are open.
We're at 75% capacity. Because in the very beginning, when school started, only elementary school students were able to go back all day, which was, I'm like, thank God, because I can't afford childcare anymore.
Right.
And then 2 weeks ago, middle schoolers were able to go back all day instead of the AB scheduling where, like, I go this day and not this day, not this day. It was confusing. And then last week, all high schoolers were able to go back all day.
Do you feel like the pandemic helped you lose weight, or do you think it made it harder?
Oh, no, it made it so much easier because, heck, nothing was open. I couldn't go out to eat. I couldn't splurge on this. I couldn't do that. So I'm like, oh, darn, I guess I got to go to the grocery store and just get my meat and veggies.
It's crazy. So everybody always says eating healthy is expensive. What's your take on that?
No, it's not. Are you kidding me? It's more expensive to go out and eat this lavish dinner that could feed your family for 4 days. I could literally go to the grocery store and buy $1 bagged veggies that will feed my 3 girls and me. My 2 girls and sorry, there's just 3 of us, thank God. That would feed the 3 of us. And meat is so cheap because we really don't eat a whole lot because it's just the 3 of us because it's 2 small kids plus me.
Yeah.
Heck, I could budget about $350 to $400 a month on food. I literally spend $100 a week on the 3 of us.
That's awesome. That's good. It's the thing. Everyone always like it's so expensive. No, it's not. Your bag of Cinnamon Toast Crunch is like $5. You can get chicken thighs for $5.
Oh, you said Cinnamon Toast Crunch. That was my jam.
Cocoa Pebbles. I could eat an entire box of Cocoa Pebbles.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And see, Amara can't eat cereal either because that's one of those where it will just spike her sugar regardless of how I dose her. So 4 things she can't eat: cereal, grits, oatmeal, ramen noodles.
Definite no-goes on that one. So
yeah.
For anyone who ever wanted to start, what would you say to them? If somebody comes to you like, I want to do this, what should I do?
Why do you want to do it? What is the reason, the number one reason in your heart that you want to do this? Because if you can't hold on to that and that be your number one thing to drive you, it is pointless to even start.
Love it. So with that, what do they need to do? What would you tell them that they have to do?
They need to clean out their pantries and their refrigerators, go through and see what would I put this in my body that would help me lose weight. I even made simple lists for them. I'm like, here's a list of basic vegetables, high fatty meats that are good for you, and some lean options too, just in case you got your fat intakes in already. Here's some great dairy options just in case, because they even have regular dairy milk that are carb friendly. I think it's like only 3 carbs a serving, and it's sweetened with sucrose, because for those who love milk and they can't get rid of it, Kroger makes it. It's called Carb Masters.
Nice.
And I give them the simple list. I said, you go through this, you find things that you like to make. What are things that you love? Tacos. Everybody loves tacos. Make your own taco shells. Just get some shredded cheese on a baking dish and bake it and then drape it over something. It makes a taco shell. Or heck, lettuce.
Yep. Love it. So your story's awesome. I love your why. Your why is that'll stick with anybody. If their child came up and was like, are you going to die because you're overweight? Like, I am so mind blown by that, but I love it. You've done amazing, and you still have more that you want to lose. There's no way you won't get those results and everything like that, because of how determined you are with that why and everything.
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
Literally 31 more pounds, and I'm at my goal, and I even want to see how much further I can go with it. That's because good. I want to be at optimal. I want to be like 110.
I love, how tall are you?
5'10" and a half.
You're 5'10"?
Yeah, I'm tall.
Oh my gosh, I did not know that. Yeah, you are tall. I'm like a gnome over here sitting at 5'6". You're 5'10"? You won't get to 110. Don't try for 110.
No, I said like 110. That's my weight loss. That's how much I lost so far.
Got
No,
it. Got it. I
no,
love
like,
that you're
oh,
gonna
heck
hit your goal and
no.
you're gonna keep going. I thought you said you want to be 110. I'm like, oh my god, you're
Oh,
5'10". There's
heavens
no
no,
way
I
in the
don't
world. Don't
I
do
don't want to
that.
be a pole. Heavens no.
I love it. I love it. Is there any last thing that you'd want to say to anybody who wants to start, who's listening to this?
Well, if there's just one thing I could really say, it's that when you find your why, stick to it and always look back at it. When you go to make a bad decision on what to do with your eating and you're fixing to take a bite of that, make that why flash back in your head and just think on that. Would you want that person or your why to be disappointed? Like me, would I want to see Amara cry again?
Yeah.
And I refuse to do that.
That's
I'm not going to
awesome.
let my 8-year-old cry for my health ever again.
Yeah. I love it. I love it, Amelia. Seriously, thank you for being on Motivational Monday. For everybody who's out there watching this or listening to this, make sure to hit that share button. The whole point of these Motivational Mondays is for everybody to see that anybody can do this. Anyone can lose weight. You just got to stick to a plan and keep doing it day by day and have that why. Seriously, Amelia, appreciate you a ton of being on here. You guys have an awesome day. Have an awesome night. Wherever you guys are around the world watching this, make sure to drop a comment if you guys got questions because she'll come and answer them. Hit that share button as well, too, because you don't know how many people you can motivate by hitting that share button. One last thing is, where can people find you, Amelia, if they want to ask you questions or follow you around your journey?
You can find me on TikTok, Amelia Jean 1987. You can find me on Instagram, Amelia Keto Mama. And you can also find me on Facebook, Amelia Jean.
Love it. All righty, guys. We are out of here. Have an amazing day. Have an amazing night. See you guys.